And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tim. We're going to the Board of Assessors meeting and the tax abatements and supplements. We'll take one at a time. Catherine Roll is the first one. Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded to approve of the tax abatement of $25,000 valuation, $437.50 tax dollars for the 2021 tax year. All those in favor? We'll skip it, please. Next, Regina Tadip.
Might have to speak up because we can't hear you without going.
Regina Tadip.
Thank you. And I'm right next to you, so.
Questions?
How did you end up finding out that it was 9.93 versus whatever it was before? Did they have a survey?
I believe they brought one into Paul, otherwise they wouldn't have gotten that. Yep.
I do too.
Motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded to approve Regina Tadip abatement. All those in favor? Next, Anthony Billington.
Motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded to approve. All those in favor? DeLong Investment Properties, LLC. This is actually going the other way.
Motion to approve.
Motion made and approved. All those in favor? This one has a date. Now we'll go into the select board meeting. First thing on the agenda is the minutes. Questions, comments on the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes of the September 28th meeting.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of September 28th meeting. All those in favor? Old business. One thing is the fire department station number 2 repairs.
So we talked about, 2 or 3 meetings ago, about our insurance company coming and looking at Station 2 and wanting us to have an engineer look at it and see what repairs needed to be made because of some of the cracking in the walls and the floor. So I talked to a couple engineering firms, and it was going to be pretty expensive and pretty extensive. So I talked back to the insurance company again and kind of went through everything, and they agreed that we could have a mason come in and look at it and see if they could give us an opinion and what their repairs would be. So we had the same as T&T Landscape and Masonry and Skanovich's. They did the Station 1 up in North J when we had that repaired last time. So he came down and met us down there and looked at the different cracks and the crack in the floor and gave us an estimate to do it for $3,500, which I talked to the insurance company and kind of went through the whole thing with them again, and they were good with that. So we're going to move forward with having that done as opposed to having a full engineering study or anything like that. We found that acceptable, so
Okay.
should happen in the next couple of weeks. They're gonna repair like the cracks in the walls that had been previously repaired years ago and have kind of shifted again, and he's going to put a sealant type thing in the floor where that crack is.
That's
Just a
much
change.
better option than last night.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
Good.
Next, naming of the private road off Look Brook.
Yeah, that's me. The ordinance says you guys get to do all the naming. There's a little 650-foot spur off of Brook up in North J that needs a name. The 3 people that live there, both, they kind of like push the stomp away. I'd like to have you say that's good.
Anybody have any questions, comments? If
And that's going to
people
be a
want-
private way.
It's a private way, yes, but
Going
when the
forward.
911 work was done originally, they used our tax maps. And our tax map shows Little Brook coming in.
Way up around,
Woods coming back onto itself. It doesn't do that physically.
Right.
But it shows that now on the E911 maps also. So we're gonna make it disappear on the E911 maps, from Madam Lakes through the woods and back around, which leaves that an orphan by itself. And it needs a name and some new numbers. I've already got the numbers for the houses ready to go, just make sure you do the road name. Drop any confusion on it.
Okay.
Yes, Gary.
It looks like that whole loop had been subdivided. Is there a subdivision there?
That was Dave Punches back in the 70s. It never got built, just paper road now. That all stuff went away through time and whatnot.
But I noticed there's a lot of property, abutting property owners to that proposed road. Is that going to interfere with any subdivision?
I think you'll find the guy that lives at 26 buys it, owns it all now. He's all for it.
Okay, so this
He's
is,
not gonna do anything with it.
this is old and this is not.
Yeah, that was in Lost most subdivision plan, right?
The orange, I think it's orange on your map, that's
Yeah.
all owned by one person now.
Oh, okay.
He bought it all, and John's talked to him, and he doesn't have any plans to develop any of those lots. It was an old subdivision. If he ever decided that he wanted to reactivate, to look at selling those lots, we could revisit it then, but at this time, he has no plans to do it, so we're just going to deal with what's on the ground now.
In either instance, the developer would have to bring the road right to the road on its neck.
Right.
Including asphalt, 60-foot right of ways, and the whole shebang. So it's very important. But it will be a private road.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, motion?
Can I ask one question?
Yep.
What, if he owns all of that, do you have to like name this road that is unnamed. Is that his house way back here?
What we did was we kept Look Brook in from Route 4 up to the railroad tracks,
Yeah.
and 100 feet beyond that, where the cul-de-sac actually sets, as Look Brook. Actually, we kept the whole thing Look Brook, but on the E911 map, we can designate that as private, and the cul-de-sac is.
Okay.
That just averts him having to get a new address also.
Good. Anything else?
Motion to approve Whistle Stop Way?
Motion made, seconded to approve. All those in favor?
Do you have thoughts on how you want to delineate them streets? Travel gauge?
Yeah, I put it in your packet of information, the roads that are private are in bold on that other sheet. And John and I had talked about, making it more obvious that those are private roads to somebody looking at a lot. If they drive on a road and they say, oh geez, that lot is, assuming it's on a town way, if they see a different sign on the end of the road, we had talked about doing like blue and white signs, street signs instead of the green that we have now, and writing private at the end, the PVT, which is what some other communities have too. So
Yeah.
it makes it more obvious that it's a private road.
Which is good.
Clears up some confusion, hopefully.
It's a good idea.
That's what surveyors and engineers and real estate agents are for.
Yeah.
Anything else? Next, there are sewer abatements and supplement. First one is Pamela Green. Questions? I think the letter pretty well explains what happened. No questions, comments, I make a motion we go with the abatement, $304.64 to Pamela Green for the 2020-21.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all those in favor?
Are you in favor, Gary?
No, I was still reviewing it, and I was wondering, I know the motion's already passed, but I was reviewing the minimum is 315, right?
Correct.
Yep.
The water usage puts them above a minimum.
And you're not reimbursing for the 315 though, right?
Correct.
You're only reimbursing 495.04?
304.64.
The original bill was
304.64.
810.04, and it's going to 505.40. So it'll be 304.64 that will be abated.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Next, Anthony Billington, which basically was a bill to incorrect person.
Motion to approve?
Motion made and seconded to approve. All those in favor? Next, the Long Investment Properties LLC, which really is part of that same.
Motion to approve the rebilling?
Motion made and seconded. All those favor? Next on the agenda is the junkyard permits, Belanger and St. Pierre. Which, chance to read, comments, questions?
Motion to approve Dave Belange's junkyard permit.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve. Did you say both of them?
Oh, I thought you were doing
No.
one at a time.
Yeah.
Yep,
David
Dave
Belanger. All those in favor? Next, Ben St. Pierre.
Motion to approve Ben St. Pierre.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve. All those in favor? Other business? Anybody have anything for other business? No, I haven't got there. I skipped over the next one. Next one's really upcoming board vacancy. I tried to skip over it, but. And this is the next agenda item, the upcoming board of vacancy. I didn't really want to do it. I tried to cross it off and ignore it, but.
Yeah, I was about ready to make that.
No, it's ready.
You want a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, we should have a motion to one. So if we need to adjourn before we discuss this one. Basically, it looks like, we have a couple of options. Either wait until regular April or have a special town meeting. I'm not sure there's any other options. But
What is,
unless we can, talk.
what is your
somebody.
actual resignation date?
When I read a letter,
Like December, January, somewhere in there?
November
End of November?
2021?
2020.
25th or 6th, right around Thanksgiving.
So it is November?
It'd be November.
So, I don't know what everybody else feeling is. I kind of go either direction. I know budgets are coming up too in January and February, but, if we have a new person on just about that time, they're not going to be in the swing of things, so.
We've gone, Tom and I have anyway, in the past, we went several months. Once, back when Amy was on the board, 'cause she was out medical, and we went 3 months anyway, I guess, without always having 5 there, so. I'd just soon wait, put it on, do it, so it's the April election, and I think we can get by. We just have to get our heads, together and look at things as we go through the budget process and what have you. That's my opinion, rather than rush around trying to get somebody in the next month or two, only to turn around and know that 2 months later we'd be electing somebody anyway.
Anybody else have any comments?
I wasn't quite sure I heard everything that Tim was saying, but isn't this a bit premature? I understand, I appreciate it coming to us for discussion, but we can't take any action on it until we actually receive resignation letter, right? Whenever we receive that, then we can move on that, right?
Yeah, but we should still discuss which direction we'd like to go.
I just thought it was premature.
Because she's going to give us the
Well, it's not
resignation.
premature, I'm giving you a heads up that it's coming.
Yeah, she's definitely going to give us a resignation for November.
And I think we should proceed as quickly as possible to get a 5-member board. Only because it would be nice to have that deciding vote in the eventuality that becomes a tie. Not that we've had many of them, but it's conceivable that we could. And I think that if anybody's interested in running for the position of selectman, they probably should be somewhat well versed in the democratic process and budget process and how we conduct our meetings, since they're all publicized. So I mean, what is it, 14 days?
Minimum of 24 to have an
Minimum
election.
24, but I mean, it's 10 days to get the,
So once you pick your election date, 14 days before that, they have to have the papers in, at
Right.
least 14 days. And at least 10 days before that, the town has to have those papers available. So it's 24 altogether. The board can, make it wider, if that 24 days was going to make you fall right in the middle of Christmas, you probably wouldn't want to do that, so.
that's why I wanted to know
Could
when the
change
letter
it.
of resignation was going to occur, so that we could plan 10 days and then 14 days to get that 24-day window that you're talking about. And we could extend it a little bit further. I understand that.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to give people a heads up, if it's going to be just that 24-day period, to give them, some time ahead of that, saying these nomination papers are going to be available, so that
We don't
people
want
can
to,
at least consider it.
I wouldn't want to come right out today and say we'll start.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Give us some time to be able to publicize that it's happening, so that somebody
Even
can
if
say
we do that, but yeah.
they're
Well,
interested.
I'm hoping that the press will be able to announce the potential resignation of one of our members, one of our esteemed board members, and that should put a public notice out there for people. But I understand, we can go 12 days, 14 days open to get those papers back. I just didn't want to see us prolonging it by going beyond a holiday weekend or anything. And like Timmy says, a budget process will be coming up sooner than later, and it would be nice to have a full board on it when we have those discussions. Because whoever comes on is going to be just, it is what it is, and they've not had any opportunity for input.
Is there any cost to a special town meeting? Or is it just like a regular?
We have to
Before.
have it secret ballot, so
Okay.
there would be a cost just to have the ballot clerks and stuff. You could do, if you wanted to do like a reduced time period again, like we did with the schools, we did from like noon to 6. I don't know where we could do it. I was gonna say we could do it at the town office, but I don't know that we actually could, because it would depend how many people we thought we were getting and how many people we could have at once. We're doing absentee voting at the town office right now, and it's working fine, so potentially we could do that there. And have a couple ballot clerks there. I think that cuts down on the number of people you can have in the meeting room, but we could try to figure that out too, if that's something that you're interested in.
Well, I think the absentee voting, like you say, is really taken on a life of its own, if you will, because of people's concern about COVID-19. I understand that, and so I would like to give people the opportunity to vote in person, like we have absentee, for the position of selectman as well. I think that would work.
Well, you could do in person, but you wouldn't have absentee. Because
Yeah.
if you had absentees, you'd have to have
Okay.
those available for like.
Isn't that considered absentee in-person voting?
Right now, we're doing absentee voting, but for this, there would just be an election day vote, and they could come in and vote that day.
So they couldn't vote prior to the day of election?
Correct. Not if we do the shortened 24-day period, because absentee voting, you have to have 30 days of voting prior to your actual election day, excuse me. So you wouldn't be able to do that shortened process. You could do it, if you do it in April, you would have that opportunity, because we do absentee ballot voting in April for our regular town meeting. But for the shortened process, it doesn't allow for absentees.
So we couldn't extend the window from 24 days to 30 days in order to meet that legal requirement?
But you'd have to extend it more than 30, because you still have to have them back 14 days before you start voting, and then they're available 10 days before that, so you're at least
34 days.
45 by then. I don't know if that's any different than just a regular vote. If you want to have absentees, I mean, we can do a timeline for just if we did absentee voting too, what a regular town meeting vote would look like.
Right.
I don't know.
We have 30 to 45 days of absentee ballots, and we also have to have your normal, we have papers available, right? That's one period of time, so usually it's 45 days from that, so you're looking 75 days.
Yeah, it's much longer to do a full regular town meeting. We usually have papers due, like available in January, they're back mid-February, and then we vote in April for a regular town meeting absentee.
So at that point, I just wait till April, because you're gonna take papers out in January anyway. That way, we don't have the additional costs, we don't have to go through the process, and all be done in one shot.
If you vote in, if we kept it in April, you'd take the papers out in January, they'd be back in February. You'd go on the ballot and start voting, whatever, mid-May, 30 days before our April vote date.
As the lady that's leaving, what do you think?
I think it's more logical to do it in April, because then you're not gonna have limited people, and people will be coming to vote anyway, so it makes sense to do it in April. I thought maybe you could do like a show of hands, but just with the COVID and everything.
Right.
I thought I was trying to be,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
No,
Threw a
you
little wrench.
you just probably stay on till April, and then they'll take care of that
Yeah, there you
problem.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we couldn't really make a determination until we get your letter of resignation, because that's when the clock would start.
I understand that, but
Anyway, that's entirely up to you, that's why I thought it was premature to have a discussion again.
So next
no, I
time,
just
we'll
didn't
have
want to
to
be paid for not being
decide.
here, so.
Next time, we will.
That's not working.
Next time, we'll have to
Yeah.
decide what we're going to do.
And if you want me to put any timelines together, if you want to say what's it going to look like if we have a full vote in whenever, let me know that, and I'll try to work back from it, so I can have that information for you next time. You don't have to tell me right now, but if you'd like to have a timeline before the next
Maybe I can
meeting.
vote twice if we have a tie.
Or not, you know,
I get it.
whatever's legal.
Trying to help.
Judy, we're going to miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And,
Time
oh,
learned a
sure.
lot from you. Appreciate the effort. You certainly made, I think, a lot of us think outside the box a little more.
Very enjoyable. And we will have you around for another month.
Or 2 or 3,
Yeah. Three or
whatever
four.
works out.
Next, any other business? Yes, Gary.
I had an individual call me in regards to maybe a noise, do we have a noise ordinance in town? None.
We don't have many ordinances.
Right, but I wasn't sure whether we had, I know we had an environmental ordinance at one time, most of that were on the back burner, I understand, but I thought we might have some other ordinances. We don't have any zoning in the town,
Shoreland, subdivision, and floodplain,
that's it.
that's it.
Everything else is do whatever you want, right? It's pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
Okay, just want to get that clarified for this gentleman who called me,
Yep.
you know. But he didn't want his name mentioned, so I said, I'll ask the questions.
He actually
Yeah.
he called me too.
He did?
Yeah.
And he can call the town office and talk to Rhonda. She's the code officer, so if he has questions, he can give her
Yeah.
a call. I mean, he can
That
call
would be
her
the best thing for him to do.
anonymously and
Yeah.
talk to her if he wants.
Yeah.
Well,
He
there
doesn't have to give
there
his
was a
name.
discussion about building something, and I said, we don't even have a building ordinance in the town,
Right.
Jay, you can build
That's
whatever
what
you
I
want.
told him the same
I said,
thing.
you have to have electrical codes, I said, well, you can do whatever you like,
Yeah.
don't work out.
Yeah,
burn
there's a
down,
state
that's you and your
building
insurance
code
company.
that we fall under.
Yeah, there is some electrical codes we do, So
Right.
I wasn't leading him astray then.
Yeah, there is some building stuff, so if he's gonna build something, he should call it.
All right.
Any other business? Dates, November 3rd, Bolton, 8 to 8, Spruce Mountain Middle School gym, and the town office will be closed that day. November 9th, select board meeting at 6, November 10th, planning board meeting, November 23rd, select board meeting at 6.
Those meetings are here too, we did confirm that.
And those meetings are here.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? He beat you. You know, on that one, he beat you.
I'm not using